And
yeah,
talk a little bit about that.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. I'm so glad you said that because I was shocked. It was the first year I was chairman at this last CPAC, and there were people I hadn't seen for decades who came to CPAC, and people I was in the trenches with on important, campaigns and stuff. And I ran into them at CPAC, and I'm so glad, Gene, you've had that experience too. I had a cup of coffee yesterday with Judge Napolitano, and he was telling me that he went to the very first CPAC. He said was in a room you could barely fit 50 chairs in. And so you hear these stories. People love coming back, and the neatest thing has been I've talked to people that stopped going to CPAC and now have started coming again. And I talked to someone today, as a matter of fact, and that always makes me feel good because you know what, Gene? You don't know. It's not just you in New York City who feels isolated and alone sometimes. All of us do as conservatives because I think we're under attack, and they think we're on the run. I don't think we're on the run. I think we're actually ready to take the country back and work together, and I really mean that. And we have a chance to get this country back on the right track, and it's all of us reconnecting with each other, encouraging each other, including at CPAC, that's going to get it done.
This year it's going to be right in the heart of the election season. There's going to be so many moving parts. I dare say it's going to be the most exciting CPAC in history. I can't wait to be a part of it. For those listening out there, check out the American Conservative Union, CPAC.org, right?
That's right.
Oh, look, I got it right without even looking at my notes. Check it out. Register early. You get a price break if you register early. You'll be glad that you did. It'll be an amazing experience you won't forget. Matt, it's going to be so much fun coming back home to CPAC this year, and it's going to be an amazingly pivotal year, and I'm with you on this. I'm with you in saying I think we're taking the White House. I think we are holding the legislature, House and Senate. It's going to be a banner year, and I think CPAC is going to be the tempo setter for the entire year coming up. Thanks for coming on the show. It's always great to talk to you, and, man, I'm excited. I want to get in my car and start driving already. It's going to be so much fun. Thanks for coming on, man.
That's great, Gene, and thanks for having me on, and thanks for being such a great friend to me and to CPAC.
Behind Enemy Lines. Gene Berardelli, back behind enemy lines, joining me right now on the line with me. Always great to have on the show from Liberty Health Share, my good friend Dale Bellis. Dale, thanks for coming back on. Great talking to you. Happy New Year, pal.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for the invitation. Delighted to be with you.
Oh, it's always great to have you on because, listen, I'm a big believer in Liberty Health Share and all the good work that you're doing. And let me tell you something. You guys are getting creative. There's a blog. If you go to the Liberty Health Share blog, which is it's on their site, libertyhealthshare.org. There's an article there that says 5 ways health sharing is like the Force. That's some great cross branding right there, Dale.
Yeah, well, that was I can only attribute it to our creative staff who drew those parallels. So yeah, we'd welcome folks to go there and check it out.
Absolutely, but you know what? The parallels are pretty apt because there is a power that comes from freeing yourself from the shackles of the insurance company. Talk about that for a second. Talk about how Liberty Health Share frees people from this healthcare system that just has become so overcumbersome.
Well, there is an energy associated with exercising freedom and liberty from health insurance. Its rising costs, its complexity, its intrusion in our lives, and instead joining a like-minded community and sharing our medical bills when we individually are in the driver's seat. Gene, that just changes the dynamic when we are both in charge of and responsible for our own care and costs, and we choose to share that in community with others. It's just a whole mindset change. It's a paradigm shift because now we're addressing costs as once it used to be addressed, neighbor to neighbor, person to person.
And it creates, besides the sense of community that it creates that we've talked about before, one thing that I feel is missing in the world is a sense of empathy, I guess you would say, for your fellow man and what they're going through. We see in political climates all the time, the fighting back and forth, and it gets really divisive, and it gets really, really, lowbrow and disgusting at some points. But this actually, the Liberty Health Share actually creates not only community, but creates a culture of caring for one another.
Well, it's really a part of our shared beliefs, and every member who joins signs off and says, you know what, I've been placed on this earth to be able to impact others and to use my resources to share with others who have a need. If that's truly at the core of who and what we are, then we will really participate not only with one another when we have medical bills, but engage for both emotional and spiritual support in some of the greatest crises of our lives. Let me just use an example. There's a young couple down in Florida who, Jim and Carol, whose the wife, the young mother, contracted a virus, and suddenly, Gene, it attacked her heart, and she was on the list for a heart transplant. This happened within the last 2 weeks. There was such an outpouring of support and encouragement and words of cheer and prayer. And the good news here is Carol has been taken off the heart transplant list. She's coming home, which is remarkable and beyond belief. And that couple's life will never be the same. It's an entire network of people reaching out to someone in crisis and in need, and being used to impact their lives forever. It's an astounding experience that happens month after month.
It's the best of all American values when we can all come together and help each other in community, especially when it happens outside of the framework of an over-cumbersome government and over-intrusive political culture. It's wonderful to hear stories like that, Dale. It really is.
Well, we share those medical expenses. We ask each of our members to set aside a set share amount in their online account. We call it a share box. And that share amount is then matched to another member who has medical expenses. And they can message them with cheer or encouragement or prayer. And that transpires every month. We're sharing in those typical medical costs that occur all the way from a wellness visit at the doctor's office to a tragic intervention, as I just mentioned, with a heart transplant, and all in between. Our members are sharing literally millions of dollars of medical expense every year.
It's amazing that, to me, this is kind of what revolutionizing your life is all about. Besides just taking back your freedom, when you stand up to the traditional bonds of the insurance market and just traditional health care, and you stand up and you do this, look at all the great externalities that come out of it. Besides just taking control of your own health, all the good that you can bring to other people. And, my New Year's resolution was to kind of take control of my health care. Dale, when we're done with this interview, I'm clicking enroll on the site. I am getting the information, and I will be signing up starting this month. As I told you last time, I'm doing it, man. I'm joining.
Yeah.
I'm joining the community, and I will be one of the many.
We welcome you.
Oh, listen, it's a pleasure. And for those of you who want to do it as well, Dale, tell everybody how they can join Liberty Health Share, how easy it is to go to the website and get all the information they need. Just one click.
We advise you to go to joinlhs.com, joinlhs.com. You can ask for what we call a free decision guide delivered to you by mail or directly to your email electronically. There's a phone number there. They can call the call center, talk to one of our trusted advisors, or click through to the site and review all of the information. We want folks to get as educated and informed as possible, because it is a paradigm shift. It's freedom from health insurance, and depending on each other, member to member, person to person, in a mutual support, mutual aid model that's been in existence for decades. But join LHS.com and get all the information, or just simply click on the Join Now button and enroll.
I'm going to go do it right after the show. And by the way, if you don't remember joinlhs.com, which you all should, While you're listening to this show and you're on BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us, click on the Liberty Health Share ad right at the top of the page. It'll take you right there and fill out all the information you need. It's time to form an alliance, folks. I'm going back to the Star Wars theme. It's time to form an alliance with a whole bunch, thousands of like-minded, health-conscious Americans to take control of your health care. Dale, always a pleasure. Can't wait to talk to you again real soon, and keep up all the great work. Next month, we're going to talk about what it's like to be a new enrollee with Liberty Health Share, folks. Dale, thank you so much.
I look forward to that with anticipation, Gene. Thank you, man.
The show will be right back. But first, a word from Al Sharpton.
But resist we must. They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race, then co-author of Hubris. U2 lead singer Bono, Fran Drescher, Sigourney Weaver, suspect Jahar Tsarnaev, Rush Limbaugh. The show Rush Lombard hosts Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Is Mike Muckery yesterday, Antonin Scalia, Kim Kardashian, and the Republican candidates, both Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Lavita. First stop, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. He's getting lunch at Chipotle in Iowa. Bain is appropriate. The GOP's tax day giveaway to millionaires. Why was traffic problems email sent? The Environmental Projection Agency. And what sequestration has done.
And they gave this guy a TV show? Let's get back to our show. Gene and Russ, back behind enemy lines. We got a little bit of show left here. Running out of time. Time for some final thoughts. Russ Gallo, what do you got for us?
Something for our listeners to ponder. I've been wrestling with this for a while now myself. I know Bill O'Reilly used to talk about this a lot on his show. Gas prices are at basically historic lows. I'm reading that in Michigan at one gas station it was actually 47 cents.
47 cents!
I don't understand this because we were told for years that whenever there's instability in the Middle East, that causes gas prices to rise. The Middle East is on fire. ISIS is basically controlling territory in several different countries. The U.S. is about to go back to war in the Middle East in a couple of those countries against ISIS. There's a war in Iraq going on, Afghanistan, and Iran is running amok. So why are gas prices so low? I don't understand it. We need to do more research on this, and I'm not buying the argument ever again that instability in the Middle East causes gas prices to rise, because it certainly does not.
Over $1 billion in U.S. cash goes a long way, Russ. That's all I'm going to say about that. My final thought, real simple. There's a great article on www.behindmainlinesradio.us. I should know, I wrote it, talking about who is the man behind the Bertha lawsuit in Texas against Senator Ted Cruz. For those of you who haven't checked it out yet, Newton B. Schwartz Sr. Esquire, or is he? Because the state of Pennsylvania has suspended Mr. Schwartz's law license for the next 3 years, retroactive from February 2014. He won't be able to practice law there until 2017. For those of you in our Philadelphia market, if you see Newton Schwartz anywhere in the area trying to practice law, go get him. But what does this mean for his law license and practice in Texas? Well, Texas should probably suspend him as well once they find out about it, if they find out about it. I'm sure the Cruz campaign will do a good job of letting them know what's going on. But he also sued in pro se on his own behalf, not as an attorney, so it won't affect the suit so much. But here's what it does say. It says that Looney Tunes can be lawyers too. And that's what I'm going to say about that, from one Looney Tune lawyer to another. It's just about time to shut this sucker down. What do you say, my brother? You ready to get out of here or what?
Shut this mofo down, Gene. All you guys listening, go support Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He needs your help. He's running for re-election as sheriff. He can only do it with you. Go help him out.
Absolutely. We'll try to get him on the show and do our part as well here. But until next week, where we have some more news and shenanigans going on, tune into the show with no New York values whatsoever. Gene and Russ behind me lines. We are out of here. Good night, folks. Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A Rock Radio production. Copyright 2015. Back in 7 days. Out.